Greetings. So welcome to my YouTube channel. No, another year on YouTube, another year of having no idea what I'm doing. Happy 2023. I almost said 2022. I wanted to say 2012. We're not gonna get into that. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Monica. I also go by Monica Strange. You may know me from some popular platforms such as TikTok or Instagram, but I'm a content creator who just does a bunch of random things, and just sometimes it works and sometimes it does whatever else. But today I am going to be packing because I move in about 2 weeks. I have kept almost every single book I have purchased ever in my life. That is why my book collection is probably larger than the average bear. Not that bears can read, you know what I mean. Don't mind my bad jokes. Okay, so I have 1, 2, and then this is like a storage cube full of books. And I have another shelf behind there that I'm not even gonna worry about touching today because it's a lot. I have a lot of different books. I have some that are vintage, some that are, I think I have one that's a collectible that I really want to be careful with. I say that and then I put it in a pile of just random things all around me. I'm going to show you the best ways that I am going to pack my books because I moved about a year ago. I relocated out of state to Space City, Houston, where I live now. And the biggest hassle to move was my books. I did not pack them properly. It was a mess, and I have learned the error of my ways, so I am going to do it differently. Okay. So I have this storage container. I originally had some shoes in here, but I decided that I would shove my shoes into something else and use this because it's a little bit easier to handle. And I probably will have to go to Walmart because that's where I got this from. I will likely have to go to Walmart and get more soon. Though I'm super trying not to spend any extra money than I have or have to on getting things like storage, like containers, just because I only use them like when I move or something like that, so I feel like it's kind of wasteful. And so that is why my tote bags are coming out. So this bookshelf that I have here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 tiers. And it's kind of small, as you can see. I've had this since I was a kid, and I just absolutely cannot part with it. So this is, for example, some of my classics here. I have an old copy of Romeo and Juliet and West Side Story, of all things. I have some old Shakespeare, Robert Frost, all of that. All of the classic pieces. This is my classy girl bookshelf. Even though most of the things that I used to have painted on here was literally from when I was a kid, so it's like all type of glitter and things. So I'm gonna have to sand this down and really repaint it and make it look more whatever. I moved it a little bit closer so we could see everything that's going on. So I'm going to just lay all of the small books is what I want to put in here. And I'm going to reserve the larger books for my tote bags. And I'm also going to put my classic pieces and kind of more collectible things into this container. So for example, this is a book from the 60s, I think. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a book from the 70s. I found this at a really cool store in Mississippi back whenever I lived a lot closer. This is my copy of The Labyrinth. Need that. It's not a collectible of anything, but I just really love it. I found this in my favorite used bookstore in Houston. They're called Kaboom Books. They're absolutely amazing. And yeah, so this is what this one looks like. I also got this one and this one from Kaboom, actually. So this is Star Trek. I'm getting into Star Trek, but it's going to be the books instead of the show because that's what my brain says to do. And who am I to argue with myself? This is one of the super vintage books that I was talking about. Yeah. Actually, this is more than vintage. Like, this is legit. So it doesn't have a like copyright date, but as you can see from the pages, this is a Charles Dickens. It looks to be like, if I could guess, it would be like a first, maybe second edition. It's very, very old. But this is it. I have no idea. It got wet on the move. On the move, this book was in water. I have since dried it, but of course, it looks like that. It is what it is. Okay, moving on. Alrighty, now we have Harry Potter. Oh, Harry Potter. I have no real rhyme or reason to my books. Not really. Maybe once I'm in the new place, I will have a little bit of a better system. I wanted this shelf, like I said, to be kind of my cutesy books. I wanted it to be more, I don't know, just not my fantasy stuff, because I do have, for example, I have like Carl Sagan books. I have a book about Area 51 and Dolores Cannon. So like it's a lot of what I'm interested in, obviously, because all of the books I have, I love, even though I haven't read all of them. But yeah, there was a lot of different things kind of going on my shelf. So maybe in the new place, I'll have a better system. I'm actually gonna save my Homer. I have the Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer, of course, and I'm gonna save that book for the tote bags. So I think this is a good. Yeah, it's heavy enough. So I am going to place this elsewhere, but this is one thing of books. On to the next one. So I said I was going to be using tote bags, and I have these lovely things. I already have some books in here, and I'm going to fill it up a little bit more because it's sturdy. It can handle it. So I have Hamlet here. This is the reader's copy, or this is an editor's copy of Hamlet, which goes into wonderful detail on the different parts and just notes for the different acts and scenes. Like I said, I have a little bit of everything. And then this is a book that I thrifted, actually, from one of my favorite thrift stores back home in New Orleans. And I found $5 in this book. I opened it and there was $5, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's so awesome. So yeah, look at the books. Eco and economically friendly. Okay, let's see. I am going to add, I think, my Carl Sagan. I'm going to add the Iliad and the Odyssey to this storage cube to round it all off. I think in here it's about 20 books. In that one, I think it was maybe 25 to 30 books. So right now we're nearing 50. Yeah, let's keep going. So I've never really been a big fan of getting rid of my books just because I have such a big attachment to them. Thankfully, I have a lot of people who support my habit, or who have supported my habit since its start. And since its start, I mean since I was a baby and I first had a book put in my hands. But I have always loved books. I will always love books. And so this is just, it's always nice to reconnect. If you're seeing this gigantic book and wondering, is this a Bible? No. This is a completed collection of Edgar Allan Poe. All of his poems, short stories, all of that. And you may be wondering, what's in this? And I'll show you. You'll never guess what it is. Well, I mean, you probably will be able to guess, but it's my Team Edward bookmark. don't. I see you judging me from the other side of that screen. Don't do it. Not in 2023, okay? It's been a weird last 3 years. Let me have my Edward Cullen bookmark and my Edgar Allan Poe book. I think it's fine. If you are new here and you are still watching, I have to let you know that when I say I'm Monica Strange, it's because I'm genuinely strange. I like strange things. Oh, sorry, I just casually picked this up and just went to put it down. This is not anything to do with Harry Potter, though it obviously says Gryffindor on it. This is a book that was redone, that I also got from that store in Mississippi that I absolutely love. And yeah, I don't know what book this is. The Winds from the East is the book that is in here, but they redid the front of the page. I'm not mad at it. Or the front of the book. I'm not mad at it. Okay, so let's see. These are my collected poems, or I got this from Barnes & Noble. So this is Robert Frost in hardcover, his collected poems and some Norse mythology, because yeah, I love when Barnes & Noble have sales because they always have just like the best stuff. I also got this, it's the Odyssey Illustrated. This is a Stephen Hawking's book, so yay. Yeah, I'm very interested in science and literature and math and just everything, I guess. I feel like it's quicker to say I'm interested in everything than trying to like narrow down what and what. So I am going to put the rest of my paperbacks into this little storage cube, and I am going to put the hardcover books into this tote bag. It says Florida on it, and I got it in Florida. Now, I know this bag looks kind of small, but it fits a lot. Like, this is almost a genuine beach bag. I've used it on beach trips and everything, so yeah. Let's see. I'm going to grab this one paperback that I have here, which is Dolores Cannon, and this was recommended to me about 4 years ago. Still haven't read it. It's not my fault. Actually, no, not 4 years ago. 3 years ago. I'm gonna read it this year. This is by Tom Wolfe. It's called The Right Stuff, and he worked on Rockets or something like that, I believe, just kind of going from memory. But it's supposed to be super encouraging, so I'm gonna read it. I'll talk about it probably at some point, because this year on my reads, I am focusing on all of the things, like new authors that I haven't read before, books that I have, and I'll likely be buying more books, but I'm only trying to buy used or books from like, thrift stores or stuff like that. So the rest of these things on here are hardcover. I'm gonna shove this out of the way, and I'm going to pull the overwhelming amount of books that I have shoved into this storage cube, and I'm going to put it in this one because it's overflowing. Really, I'm trying not to focus so much on editing because I, for one, don't really have the time. I'm really big on just using this platform here to really show more of myself and all of my, regular things that come with being me and life experiences, and just, showing more genuineness. I think it's time, because though I love cool things and I love to create from different concepts and all of that, I also really, really enjoy just everything else. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy stuff like that and that you'll stick around, and I'm excited to meet you. If you're new here, please leave a comment and say hi and all of that stuff, and yeah, I can't wait to chat more. Now we're in the stretch where I'm going to pack these hardcover books into the tote bag, and I'm gonna start on Goliath here. So another fun fact about me is I am ADHD unmedicated. I hadn't had health insurance last year, and I'm not sure if I should say that out loud, but oh well, I already said it, no backsies. But I didn't have health insurance and I couldn't, go get seen properly. And so a lot of my content, I think, is all over the place because I focus on so many different things at once that it gets to the point where it's just intergalactic chaos, as I like to call it. Last year was a big challenge, though, besides the whole, ADHD thing that has been a part of my life forever. But it was extremely hard because I had so many different challenging things come up, and I really didn't know how to handle a lot of the new challenges because I moved to a brand new city where I didn't know anyone and really pushed myself to do the things that I really wanted to do and go after them. And I still don't see a lot of things as failures, even though they didn't work out how I wanted them to. I see them as just true opportunities where I learned. So trying to be optimistic, trying to have a positive approach, but it really did affect me a lot mentally and just how I kind of interacted with my content and myself. And I think it's all for the better. I do feel like I've come out of it a lot wiser than I suppose I was before, but it was a lot. It was really heavy. So I'm really believing and knowing that this year will be a lot different than last year. I think it's going to be extraordinary. So this is definitely my classic books here. If you have ever read the House of Night books, I know that's a blast from the past just in itself, but these books were pivotal, absolutely pivotal in how I interacted with vampires and fantasy and all of that. These were some of the earliest books that I can think back to that started all of that. So I do want to reread these this year just because it's been over 10 years probably since I first picked up the book. So yeah, I may end up talking about that again on my TikTok and things. And my content is definitely varied on the different platforms. On YouTube, I tend to be, I suppose, a little bit more relaxed. My content on here is more focused on the chill side of the extraordinary rather, and on Instagram it's more of the different concepts and really going into those places that I find and just navigating them as my full alter ego. I'm Monica and then I'm Monica Strange. So they're the same person but slightly different, just kind of depending on who I am, who you are, where I am, where you are, all those things. But this year was really great because I really got to explore those different avenues and do things that I never imagined. I need to upload some of the time travel concepts that I did on Instagram because saying it out loud, it doesn't really do it justice. Getting into it is going to be really fun to do on YouTube, and I hope to just show you maybe a different side of content that maybe you just haven't seen before. Maybe I really just wanted to do it big and go all in, and I did. So yeah, I was very, very excited about trying those things out. My recording stopped. Hello again. I am again reserving my hardcover books. I was reserving my hardcover books for my tote bags, but I'm going to layer this one because this bag is quite sturdy that I have. Definitely missed the mark whenever it comes to how I packed last time. So in this move, I for sure am just keeping everything as together as possible, utilizing these tote bags books on this bookshelf are a lot more of my collections. I have my Percy Jackson books and the Olympians because I was a huge fan, and I guess still am, of Percy Jackson. I think Rick Riordan is a great writer. I'm hoping he's not problematic. But I'm gonna take a little bit of a packing break now. I got well over half of my book collection packed up. So thank you for hanging out with me. I'm so excited for this fresh start, for this new year. I have many great ideas.